Well, thank you so much, Britt. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you. Always
You're
being
welcome.
the voice of reason at the beginning of the show. We appreciate y'all on Rate Today. Britt, tune back in after the show and give us a little bit of an update on what you're doing on the app and your dating stuff that you got
Ooh,
going
I
on.
definitely will. Thank you.
Sounds good. All right, guys, welcome to Rate the Date, the number one dating show on the app. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm your lovely host, Dorian Gray, and we have an incredible episode for you guys this evening. So, a little bit how the show works. We're going to have a bachelorette. She's going to come in. We're going to get to know a little bit about her. And then after that, we're going to meet some awesome contestants that are going to be competing to win a virtual date with her. So that's how the show works. But before we get into the show, let me give you guys a shout out for some of y'all have been doing a little bit extra on the app. We have the top gifters. Starting off from our last episode, we had Amber at the number one spot. After that, we had Mystique at the number two spot. Thank you so much, Mystique. Number three spot, we had Mannequins, who's one of my lovely admins on the app. And number four spot, again with the admins, we had Britt. You just met Britt. And at the number five spot, we had always a pleasure, the lovely TJ. We always appreciate the love. And speaking of that, give a round of applause for the top gifters from the last episode. Just a little bit of a round of applause for those guys. And it's funny enough, also, you see this right here, the official Rate the Date name tag. While I'm mouthing off, can you please, guys, that are my bachelors and my bachelorette, please request the box, por favor. And the Rate the Date official Rate the Date name tag goes out to Amber. So Amber, you're gonna make the official Rate the Date name tag, AMBER. So I'll be Amber until midway into the show. So the next person that is the highest gifter in the mid round of the show gets to make the official Rate the Date name tag. So let's get to know PYT and get into the show a little bit. And if I could have, like I said, all my contestants request the box, please, while we get to know the lovely PYT.
Hello.
PYT,
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. And
¿Qué
you
carro
look
es ese?
great.
¿Te
You look
mueres?
stunning. Chat,
Como
do
un
you agree?
Lamborghini.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
explain right.
Ay, que le pusieron
These
vaina
gentlemen are
mofleta.
definitely
Su
in
GTR de
store for something
200
else.
caballos después.
By the way, guys, while you
Tú
guys are
sabes cuál
sending
es,
gifts,
tú
as
sabes
far as
la
the one
violenta, la Honda
that
Civic 41
giving
también.
y'all props and kudos. So the admins are going to be the ears and voice of me in the chat, giving y'all thank you. But I'll be also giving y'all a little bit of sign language to let y'all know my gratification. As you can see, what PYT. I got some random facts about you. Let me know if this is true here to let the audience know you a little bit more. It
Mhm.
says here that I am multilingual. What are some of the languages that you speak?
Well, of course, English. Fun fact, my another fun fact on top of that, my first words were actually in Creole. So I'm Haitian and I speak Creole. I can read and write French and I speak Spanish.
Whoa, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Definitely I see that culture coming through. That's good to know. How do you say welcome to the show in Creole?
Okay. Bonsoir, Shita. Nous là avec Dorian Swear. I said,
Boshatitla
welcome, take a
Boya
seat, and we are here with Dorian tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And the number two thing is said I worked for a couple of sports teams that people might know. What did you do for the sports teams, and what specifically what sports teams did you work for?
Okay, so I was born in Miami, Florida. So virtually, I've worked for almost every national sport that they have. My first job ever was with the Dolphins. I just served beer. I ain't gonna hold you. If you wanted Miller Lite, I had it. If you wanted Bud Light, I had it. And I was straight out of high school, so something light. In college, I bartended for the Miami Heat. I was there when we won our championship, 2013 and 14. And I worked for the Marlins. I was a server at one of their restaurants.
Well, that is fantastic, and I wouldn't mind PYT serving me a drink, so I'm sure you got no complaints on that aspect. And it says at the number three fact about you, this is the one that I found the most interesting. You got your Lisa Simpson on. You played the saxophone. What got you into that?
Yeah. Okay, so I actually have slightly a musical family background. My uncle plays almost every instrument. He actually taught me the basis of piano. And
Wow.
then in elementary school, I went to one of those advanced elementary school because my scores were a little high. And I learned how to read sheet music. So I can sing a song I've never heard in my entire life. I learned how to play saxophone and I dabble in piano, but I was more so saxophone than piano.
Okay, that is awesome. That's cool.
Mhm.
So you got the pipes, that's for sure.
Just a little
All right,
bit.
moving back into the show. Okay, so we got some three contestants lined up for you. Would you like to get to know your contestants a little bit?
Let's go.
All right, so bringing on to the show, we have the lovely Brandon. We
Oh,
have
Brandon.
we have
Yeah.
we have
Hello.
I love you, and then
I love
we
you.
have Supreme Joker. But check this out. A couple of other people showed up for you as a contestant today. So you're gonna ask these gentlemen one question. Remember, I was talking to you about that question, and then we have another bachelor who's waiting on the outskirts to see if they can also jump in the box. So start
Dang.
off with I'll start off with asking the boys one question, and then based on how they answered that question, decides if you switch them out for somebody or these are going to be the guys that are going to be locked in the show.
Okay, so we got a somebody on the bench. Okay, let's
Uh,
go.
all right. Well, Brandon, jump back in here, but well, let's start off with "I love you." What question do you have for him?
Okay, so I love you. I have a little question, and my question for you is: what do you prioritize more, relationship or career?
Career.
Why is that?
Ultimately, your career is what your relationship fits into.
Okay, yeah, yeah, and actually, that answer. It usually people always want to like pander to the bachelorette and like give them what they want to hear. So when you hear somebody that says the career, right, you got to have the foundation first. So I actually respect that answer. Moving over to our contestant number two, what question do you have for him?
All right, so contestant number two, hello. So my question for you is: what words of advice would you offer to your younger self?
Stop chasing girls and focus on my school
Mm,
and pick something other than football.
okay, okay.
All right, and then we're getting into
Okay.
Brandon. Brandon, how we doing?
So
Are
I
we?
guess we're right in the nick of time, buddy. How you doing?
We're doing great.
Say
All
hey,
right.
welcome back.
So
Oh,
Brandon, what he's gonna be contestant number three for now. What question you have lined up for Brandon?
All right, Brandon. So, what is what are you most passionate about?
oof. Nowadays, anything that involves my kids, basically just facilitating like the best, most prosperous situation for my children. And you grow up, you get a little bit older, you realize what you didn't have maybe, and you want to do the best as a parent to try to do that for the kids that you raise and break those generational cycles. You know.
All right. Well, that is
Definitely, definitely.
that. I think he definitely put a button and a way to finish off that introduction to these questions. Okay. So you have I love you. You got Super, and then you got Brandon. These guys gave you a little bit of a taste of what they're like, but we also, like I said, have a bachelorette lurking in the background. Did you want to stay with these three, or did you want to switch one out?
This is interesting because I'm getting literally three different personalities. I love
Yeah.
you is like straight to the point. He said what he said. Supreme, you can tell that he you know, been through the life, done the life, and now he's just like maturing, as he goes. Like we've all did some dumb things when we were young, and now we're older and we've learned from our mistakes. So I see a lot of that in him. And Brandon gives me super dad, and I love kids, and I'm here for that. I really am. So I think I'm gonna stick with these three. I want to get to know them more.
All right, well, give it up for yourself, guys. You made that first impression and gave her, I would say, an honest response, but
Hey.
also an honest interpretation of each one of you. So we're gonna have "I love you" go as contestant number one. We're gonna have Black Joker as contestant number two, and then we're gonna have Brandon as contestant number three. All right. So moving into the the first round. Let's start off with I love you. What question you have lined up for contestant number one?
All right. So I love you. I want to know a little bit about your jealous side. So what makes you jealous?
Hmm. Define what you mean by jealousy. Does that involve a bit of envy?
Let's keep it in a general sense, and then depending on like what you like and dislike, you can get a little more specific. But maybe someone is trying to make a pass on your woman in person, and you just happen to be like around the
I don't
corner.
really, I don't really get jealous, but if I notice that the woman I'm with, wife or courting, wants me to have a protective personality for her, then I'm going to go over and make it known who I am. That's
Yeah,
about it.
that's another topic that I can also relate on. I don't get
And I
jealous, but
play it off her
I get
feelings.
upset if you're trying to make me jealous. That's don't
Mm.
don't try to pull on the tiger's tail. All right, so moving it right along over to Black Joker. What question you have lined up for contest number two?
All right, Black Joker. So tell me a little bit about you. What makes you unique?
Something about me. Uh, I'm actually having a traumatic brain injury. Uh, I'm in law school, a substitute teacher. Uh, but my main focus is my music. I am a performing artist, so I do travel a lot for my music. And when I'm not doing music, I'm taking care of my daughter.
Whoa, so yeah, like us Black Joker, and also I'll add to that. Did having a kid motivate you more to do, especially the like the
Yeah,
field?
I got three kids, and that genuinely made me want to be the best version of myself that I could be. I didn't have my dad around, so I was like, I was going to do anything for my other three. I have a child's mother who doesn't allow me to see my oldest too, so every waking moment that I have, I get to spend with my daughter. I do. I'm still fighting for
Mm.
custody of my oldest too, purchasing a house for them, but my little girl makes sure she sees me every day. I'm a teacher at her school as well.
And that is awesome. And I can tell just by hearing you and the way that you give these responses that this man is an open book. Brandon, you made it in the
I
nick
am.
of
I'm running
time.
my ISP now, man. I just got off the computer. I got off my computer. I'm not sure we have some storms over here. Got on the phone, man. Came just special for you, man. Special for you.
Hey, tell it to the judge or PYT. PYT, pretty young thing. Lay it on him. What you have
All
lined up for
right,
contestant number three?
Brandon. My question for you is, what is the biggest boundary you have in a relationship?
Ooh, uh, that's a tough one. I think the big boundaries for me are. It's kind of weird because it goes between a boundary and like a fundamental principle. It's like a trust thing, right? So when people infringe on people's boundaries of trust, if I'm supposed to implicitly trust you, you never give me a reason not to. When I talk to you, you tell me something that's cool until I think I have to believe otherwise. You know what I mean? If I say something likewise, I would like that to be trusted as well. I think some people try to infringe on, oh, what's this about or what's that about, or try to get in the microscopics of it, the semantics of it. I just think that just gives that untrusting feeling, and I can't do that. People that they won't just let you do you until you have a reason not to. I can't do that. You gotta let people do their thing until they give you a reason not to. So people that infringe on their trust or that privacy, to no avail or to no purpose.
That is awesome. And so he's like how I used to be. You give somebody all the trust and then slowly take it away if they give you
If
a
you have
reason to.
to.
Okay, makes perfect sense. Moving back over into our second round of questions, I think we have enough for two more apiece. So with contestant number one, what question you have lined up for him?
All right, so contestant number one. What's the one thing that you cannot live without?
Mm. My connection to my spirituality.
And tell us why the response. What does your spirituality mean to you?
It's the foundation of anything I'm going to pursue in life that involves love.
Yeah, you got to respect a man that can fear God right there. All right, moving over to our contestant number two. What question do you have lined up for him?
All right, contestant number 2. What does your ideal partner look like?
I like me a big girl. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't discriminate, but I like
I'm
me a big girl.
I'm too.
I like girls with a little meat on them. You feel me?
That ain't me.
I ain't gonna hold you. I gotta say I'm part Jamaican. You feel me? So Jamaican men, them like big girl them. You feel me? But I actually just like a woman who has a real heart, a genuine soul. As long as you loyal, I can rock with you. If you fake, I can't rock with you. I don't do fraud. I don't do fake. I don't do phony.
Well, I think behind those curves that we're able to see PYT. Sorry if that's too much, but I think there's a
My
wonderful.
curves are a little smaller. I'm sorry.
Hey, I see
No
curves. I don't know what
discrimination.
you guys are
You got
talking about.
it. You
Don't talk about my friend like that.
Listen,
All right, moving.
I eat a lot, but it don't go nowhere.
Hey, me
Uh,
too.
Exactly.
I don't know. You can swipe this way and this way and see somebody that would make you look thick. All right, moving over to contestant number 3.
That part.
Facts, facts.
What question do you have for contestant number 3?
All right. So, Brandon, who do you go to for relationship advice?
I don't. That's an unfortunate situation. I actually just kind of briefly touched on this in a very like facetious way. I'm not a person with habit. I'm the person that people come to for advice. So a lot of the time, like when I'm trying to sort things out, I have a catharsis means of like helping other people with their stuff, kind of put my own shit in perspective. Pause, my bad. But it's just I don't. The problem is if I have to go to somebody, I have to trust their life experience, right? And they have to steer me in the right direction, or have good potential to steer me in the right direction. If I sit there and look at all the people I have around me, even though I have very good quality people around me, people that are older than me, people that have been there, done that, I go to them, they learn their own way. By the time I go to them and figure it out and try out my area, it's like I probably could have figured it out myself. It just seems like a lot of running around for no purpose. So I just really buckle down and lock in and try to get cracking. I'm a solution-minded individual.
You see how Brandon fits like 1,000 words into the minute that he has to answer the question. He makes the best out of that 1 minute that he has.
Hey, that's it.
Yeah, his ADHD is definitely helping him in this game. All right, moving over to our last round of questions, going out to contestant number 1. What question do you have lined up?
All
For contestant
right.
number
The
1?
question that I have for you is what do you consider your greatest weakness?
Probably the same thing I hold most dear to me. It's
Repeat that one
my
more time,
ability
contestant.
to connect with just about anyone on it's my greatest weakness is also my greatest strength, and that's love, to connect to just about anyone and emotionally connect to how they feel and mirror their feelings and really get into why those emotions are going on. I feel like what Brandon said really ties in what I do in my stream. People come to me and have questions about relationships a lot.
It's so interesting
I don't
because he
really
has
go
the
to
high.
somebody for that.
It's interesting because his like vocal tone, and his high cheekbones and his masculine like features, but he's saying things that are very emotionally forward. That's awesome. The man got the best of both worlds. He's not red pill or blue pill. He's like the purple pill. All right, moving on to contestant number 2. What question do you have lined up for contestant
I
number
take them
2?
both. You know, I take the blue one every 20 minutes and the red one like once in a while.
Cycle in.
Take half. If you like it, take the other half. All right, moving over to contestant number
Microdosing, the
2.
Matrix is the best way to go.
That's it.
All right, contestant number 2. What is it? Hold on. Yeah, what is an aspect of dating that you hate the most?
Aspect of dating I hate the most.
He's trying to think of all the many and why he thinks about that question. Let me let y'all know what you're tuning into. We got the beautiful PYT as our bachelor on today's show, our bachelorette on today's show. We have these 3 awesome contestants that are going to compete to win a virtual date with said bachelorette. After this round of questions, I think we have one more question left for our contestant number 3. We're going to go into round number 2. We'll double up the questions and then she makes her final pick. Her and that person will get to know each other off of the app on the Book of Face the snap of all chats, the gram of all instas, whatever the kids are calling it these days. And they'll tune back in next Friday, closer to 12 p.m. Eastern time, and give us a bit of an update. Speaking of updates, on our last episode, we had Diesel. He chose our one and only Brit, who you guys know on the show. We'll be hearing from them at the end of this episode and seeing how things go. All right, back to you, Black Joker. What
I
is
got
one
my answer.
aspect of dating that you hate the most?
I really don't hate any aspect of dating. You go through ups and downs with whoever you're with. Like that's how you learn that person. If you're committing to that person, you have to be able to learn what makes them tick, what makes them mad, what makes them sad, what makes them happy. So you can learn to never make them mad. So you can learn to never make them sad. So you can always make them happy. So I don't hate any aspect of dating because that's just something to learn your partner.
I like that response. It's the first time I've ever heard that from that question. So,
I'm a
yeah,
cancer, so
yeah. Hey, now some
it makes sense.
originality on today's show. Moving it over to our last and final question of the first round, going out to Brandon. What question do you have lined up for him?
What is the best thing about your life at this very moment?
As it pertains to like so that's kind of an interesting question. As it pertains to like what I feel is the best thing or the best thing that I have going on, like
I think that it's very good. Yeah.
I guess the best thing for you, what the thing that you
it's
wake
my
up to
children.
that just
It's cheese, but it's my kid. It's just I brought like I'm facilitating life and stuff right now. For me as an individual, outside of like this, having another individual, it's my kids. Obviously, it's like how does that affect maybe another individual? Be different. For me though, I think it's just the capability, the forward thinking in the positive ways I look at things. Like I'm a I'm a type of person that whenever I run into obstacles, I don't really have a big issue with obstacles. I handle pressure well and stuff like that because I'm very capable. So I feel like that ability for me, that resource that I have to really just solve problems is one of the best things I always have going on because it mitigates a lot of the big stress long term and stress of the rest of life.
Well, that is awesome, and a good way to finish off the first round. TYT, I think the guys did great the first round. Hey, give it up for yourself. Can we have a round of applause to our awesome contestants on today's show, please? And also give it up for the beautiful Bachelorette for sitting there and kind of showing
Oh,
that definitely that top badge comfortability. I think somebody said this is the best Bachelorette that we've had this season. Like I said, we are in season number 5. All right. So unfortunately, this is the part
yeah,
where we have to make an elimination. But rather picking the person that you want to eliminate, let's pick the person that you want to keep around moving into round number 2. And give us a bit of a reason why you made this choice. So without further ado, who is going to be the first person moving into round number 2? And can I get a drum roll, please? Person moving into round number 2 is.
I will say Brandon. I feel like I like the fact that he stuffed a bunch of words into his 60 seconds. That's how I am. Like, yeah. I'm gonna say it, and I definitely feel his passion behind every answer, and I like that.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. You move into round number 2. This is where things get a little bit difficult now. So only one can stay. We can't have them all, right?
Mhm.
Who is going to be the second person moving into round number 2? And give us a
Before
reason
I
why.
say that, I will say this. So for contestant number one, I feel like, although some of the questions were set up to be short-ended, you could have extended them. And it's like, give me the why. Don't make me ask you why. And then for contestant number two, like you got a lot going on. Pay attention to me. Like walking around the house. Like, dang. I didn't even know what you looked like half the time because I was like, okay, he got hair, but I don't know what his face looked like yet. So it's like,
Yeah, we
yeah.
did have this kind of view up on him for a minute.
Yeah. I was like, I think he tall. I can't tell.
Hey,
Yeah.
but to his credit, he stepped up last minute. We had a cancellation, so he didn't know what he was getting into.
hey,
Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you.
sorry.
So that being said, I would like to keep his nose is clean. Um, I'll take clean nose. Only because of what you just said, Dorian. I appreciate a person who is still prepared at the last minute. That means this speaks volumes to me. On top of the fact that I did enjoy his responses, although I did enjoy I love you's responses, the short endedness is kind of like a damn expand, and it's like I hate having to kind of sort of sometimes
Well,
pull,
congratulations,
you know.
Black Joker. You move into round number two. And unfortunately,
Thank you.
contestant number one, this is where the road ends for you, but not quite because we can get you back onto Love Avenue if they don't call me the love doctor for no reason, where I turn virtual dating into reality. Would love to have you back on the show. Maybe we can have some women that appreciate the purple pill a little bit more if you would have us. You have fun on the show today?
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
It
And
was a
make
pleasure.
sure, like I said, to hit all of our contestants and our bachelorette with a favorite. All these people stream and they have quality streams. So make sure to hit them with a favorite. All right, moving into round number two, but let's switch things up just a little bit. How about we ask the beautiful bachelorette a question rather than her asking all you guys questions? So it's time for you to be in the hot seat, PYT. So starting off with Black Joker, what's something you would like to know a little bit about her? We know what you like in body types, but you want to paw at another relationship deal breaker, maybe some like what type of date, what qualities does she like in a man, or what are her love languages, and then we'll have Brandon go after you. So, Black Joker, what question you have lined up for
I don't even want to feel like I just took any of your questions because you just thought everything that I was already thinking.
people? You see
Dang,
how that works?
but
I got 2.5 years of experience of doing this damn show.
look, so with that being said, would you rather a man who stays home and make sure you're taken care of and works a 9 to 5, or would you rather have somebody who's in the celebrity lifestyle, who you can go on tour with, who you can travel with, but it also comes with the deal of having groupies around?
That
Not
is a
saying that
good,
he's going
that
to
is an
deal with them.
honest and good question. He is in the music industry. He let us know at the beginning of the show.
I mean, at the end of the day, comfortability means everything to me. But then at the same token, I'm not a jealous person because I've always believed that like God, like nothing what happens in the dark will be come to the light, if that makes sense.
Very much so.
So what would I prefer? I would prefer, to be home and just, do our thing because I've always preferred, like, if someone had to compare the money or the fame, of course I'll pick the money over the fame. Like, forget the fame. But if my man is in the position where he is in the life in the spotlight, I'm not. Listen, do your thing. If this, I'm not there. The worst thing any woman can do is stop their man from pursuing their dream. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna take that away from him either.
I think that answer.
I liked how I liked how PYT you answered that question to where I saw where your thought process went to immediately, and but then you kind of went somewhere else with it where you became a little bit more optimistic and open-minded to understand that also, people have different circumstances and ways of
Right.
having financial stability. So yeah, that kudos to you. She has a good head on her. All right. Before we get into Brandon's question, we got to let y'all know what the heck y'all are watching. This is Rate the Day. This is not just a box party. We have the lovely PYT. She's a top badge on the app. Make sure to hit her with a favorite. And our lovely contestants. These two guys down here are competing to win a virtual date with our bachelorette. So we got a couple more questions, and then she's going to make her final pick. Her and that person are going to get to know each other off of the app into the streamosphere, wherever they pick, even real phone numbers. Who's using phones these days to talk, right? And then after that, they're going to give us a little bit of an update next Friday, closer to 12 p.m. Eastern time, and let us know how things been going. Speaking of letting us know how things have been going, at the end of the show, we're going to be hearing from Diesel and Britt, our Brit from my show, one of my admins, and she's going to let us know how things have been going. All right, back over to you, PYT. You had a question for Brandon. What is your question for Brandon?
Okay, so my question for wait, I thought he was gonna ask me one.
Oh, yeah. My bad, B.
Switch it up. Let's switch it up. I'm gonna take the question.
Do your thing, brother.
How about this? What do you envision? Like ideal life. What is your ideal life? Like kids, house, this, that, country, land, busy, town, travel.
Ideal life. Okay. So I love kids. I say it all the time. I've always envisioned myself with the typical two boys, two girls. Well, maybe it's not typical, but I want two boys, two girls, and I want to adopt a child. Um, doesn't matter where, third world country, doesn't matter. I just want to take a child that, sometimes people don't, y'all know how that goes. So I want a lot of kids. I want um I've always wanted like a lot of land because of the fact that I went to school for biology, and I see myself like living off the land, partially because we know the food in the United States freaking sucks. I don't know if y'all ever left the country, but once you eat food outside of the United States, everything changes. So I want land. I was raised in the city. I'm from Miami, but I don't want to be too far from the city, but close enough. That matters to me. And I would like to have like multiple streams of income, a lot of passive income. Like I would like to be well off,
Yeah.
you know. And then at the same token, I just want to travel a lot. I see myself seeing every continent. I just want to be fulfilled, honestly. A
Okay.
nice
That is
fulfilling life
awesome.
with good food.
Yeah.
Oh, Waybirds.
PYT definitely is getting that response the ample time that it needs to be answered. Frank, what did you think about the way that she answered that question? Frank, you there? Frank? No? I guess not. All right. So, no.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right. So, but you didn't do. I would say you didn't do it as quick as Brandon. His ADHD is on a million. He has that squirrel like that quick fiber brain. His cells get to someplace real quick. All right. Moving back into the game. Well, we're gonna switch things up, and we're gonna have Black Joker be contestant number one. Oh no, we did that the first time. Let's have Brandon be contestant number one, and we'll have Black Joker be contestant number two. So starting off, back over to Brandon. What question do you have lined up for him? Round number.
Okay. So, are there any life lessons that you wish you knew earlier?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are there any or how many?
Yeah. Well, pick one.
You know what, you guys? I think the biggest life lesson that I wish I would have understood is not confusing malice with ignorance. Um,
Mm,
I'll give you a small example of it just to quickly try to understand exactly where I come from. People, I used to get really upset with people on like road rage, kind of. You know what I mean? I was like, how could you be like you're running late because you were unprepared, and they're going to cost people maybe their safety or their livelihood or their life or their vehicle or whatever it is because you screwed up, you know? And then I looked at those people like, what's wrong with you? You're so selfish. I didn't realize that maybe in my head that maybe they're oblivious. Maybe they're unaware that they're doing all of this and the ripple effect is this. I started having to look at people that I used to get maybe frustrated at, and I pity them nowadays. You know what I mean? I feel bad for them because they're just uneducated. It seems like uneducated about what they're really doing or the effect that they have. So I think that sometimes we should be mad at people that maybe just didn't know any better. And I think that's something I learned later in life that really would have helped me a lot early.
Yeah, sometimes ignorant is bliss, but that only lasts for so long till it gets to the point where it's like, your friends you're having to tell your friends, hey, you chewed out my wife, man. Like, I
Like
can't
that.
have you around. All right, moving over to contestant number two. What you have lined up for him?
all right. So, contestant number two, are you happy with the person that you have developed into? If not, what was the change that you need to make?
Who I was when I was younger, I was a demon. Who I am now, I'm a man and a father. I'm very proud of the person I've become. Can I do better with my life? Of course. But am I still willing to work and fight every day to keep better in my life than the day it was before? Very much. Why? Because I've came over a lot. I'm talking about suicide attempts. I'm talking about uh gang wars and all this. Like I've been through the life, traumatic brain injury, more destroyed bones in my body than most people can imagine. Still play football, still do pro wrestling. Yeah, so I genuinely think like I can overcome anything. So the person who I am now, I'm in love with that person.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, you can definitely tell with that response that he's in the industry because he wouldn't have anything to talk about. So yeah, I couldn't have said yeah. Definitely, we could feel that you got a lot of of things to talk about. I'm pretty sure in your music. All right, moving back over to contestant number one. What question do you have lined up for him, PYT?
All right. So for contestant number one, what was the stupidest reason that one of your relationships ended?
Um, the stupidest reason why my relationships ended. I mean, first, I guess I have to take consideration they're all real relationships, like significant ones, but like I think I think the dumbest thing is it's hard to say because it's I feel like everything happens for a reason, but I think the dumbest thing is my marriage actually. Um, I kind of separated from my ex-wife because she was just her naivety was overwhelming,
Mm.
and it when people's parents do like a really good job of parenting, sometimes you don't get enough life experience. You know what I mean? So when somebody doesn't have a lot of life experience, they had a really good bubble, and you've been exposed to the trenches and you got at the mud, and you
Mhm.
try to see eye to eye with these people, you have no idea. Like you're like, how are you? And it became 7 years of trying to like, she's 5 years older than me, trying to explain to her like what's really going on in the world. Eventually, you start speaking. You're trying to make decisions with those people, kids and things like that. It was tough. I could have been more patient, but I think that was maybe something I really, you know what I mean? I probably could have been better about that. I probably could have.
That makes sense, and there's a lot of honesty. We are definitely opening up these books that are these men's lives
Yeah.
that we are reading and hearing about here. We have a little bit of a twist going on right now because this person said they really, really, really want a chance. So we're gonna let him in the box. I think we have enough questions to ask him a couple questions. So what's up, Slick? How we doing?
Tranquilo, ya tú sabes, having a good time. Listen,
Hola,
man.
¿cómo están?
Hola,
What's up?
mami. ¿Qué es lo que es? Yo.
Well, y'all speaking the same language of Slick's native tongue. I have enough time here to ask Slick two questions, but we'll give you two random facts about him. Slick, he said he's a daredevil. Let's go cliff diving together. And another thing about him, he said he also admires a woman thick and skinny, thick and thick skinned. Correct? Thick.
Oh,
God damn,
No.
tongue twister.
Okay, so let me fix that real quick for you. So
Okay.
I admire a woman with curves that takes care of herself. I admire a woman that has thick skin. So if we joke around, like I want you to go and tell me, you know what, Papa, it's cool. I'm not gonna take it too hard, but I know we can relate. So if you talk shit back to me in the same level, and I just start smiling, like, ooh, that's sexy. Like, okay, I fucks with you. Look at even he's smiling right here. Look.
All right, you're getting muted, Slick, just because it is a featured show. Just watch the language, my guy. But you're getting
Oh,
unmuted right now. All right, it's okay. It's all right. It's not Dorian's a regular after show stream. This is a featured show.
PG-13. My bad.
All right, Slick. We have enough time to ask each of the gentlemen maybe 1.5 questions. So let's start off with asking Slick the question first, just because he's just now joining in here. But Slick, you're at the end of the episode. We've gotten to know these gentlemen, so you better make these answers count, my guy.
Yo, you remember who you talking to? Okay, so what's the question?
all right. Is
I'm curious.
Or how about we do a question? We could do a question from the chat also.
okay. Yeah, come on, chat. What y'all want me to ask them?
All right, so I got a question coming from the chat. It says here, this one came from the lovely Nita. Nita wants to know from you, Slick, if you had an opportunity to take the lovely bachelorette out for a date, and you guys went to a place where you guys really didn't talk and get to know each other too much, how would you add romance to that? How would you communicate more than just language? That's a good question.
I
Shout
will.
out
I
to
will.
Nita.
Thank you, Nita, for the question. What I would actually do, I want to make her feel comfortable in public. Not to be too private, because I don't want to fear to have her feeling insecure. So around people around her, she's gonna feel a little bit safer. And on top of that, like whatever she wants to see, like let me know, and we can go there. So I mean, it's your day, it's not my day. So I rather have her smiling. So whatever makes her smile is gonna make me smile.
Okay, all right, throwing a little intricate response there. Moving it back over to Brandon. What question do you have lined up for him? Or we can ask him the same question. Brandon, what do you think? How would you add romance on a date where there's not a lot of
I'm giving away my tricks of the trade here. This is you want that's come on. Here's a true story. I'm good at this because I don't actually like flirt like the whole coming on thing. It's more of a body language thing, right? I'm big on like creating like simple eye contacts, nuances, maybe like a touch of a hand real quick here or there. You know what I mean? You have to just try to find things and to make things something make sometimes you do this or you try my food, this, that, and the other. You try to engage in little ways and small nuances that elicit sensory responses and things like that. Maybe something
okay?
that has me, locked in on your focus or this, that, and the other. A little, like I said, like a touch here and there.
Yeah, for sure. Sensory response was big time for you, especially with the ADHD. Look, Brandon, shiny thing. Oh. All right, Joker, Black Joker. And what about you? In a place where you're musically inclined, I feel like we're gonna get a little bit of a taste of that creative type with this answer. How would you add some value to a date where there was little communication? How are you vibing out with your date?
I'm a very sensual person. I like touching on the neck, massaging, rubbing your feet. I don't gotta say much. Trust me, girl. I can choke you, hold you. By the time I'm done, you won't want to leave. Trust and believe. You're gonna have a hard time trying to
A
breathe.
public answer though.
Look, that is very public. Trust and believe. I
On
should
the
have had an
first
OnlyFans
date
if
is
my mom would
crazy.
have me. Look,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just more about making you feel comfortable. As long as I can sit here, rub your hand, let you know that you're the only thing on my mind by the way that I'm caressing your fingertips. That's all that matters. We could be in the movie theater, girl. I can make you feel like you going to heaven just because I'm rubbing your hand the right way.
Hey, yeah. He took he went he took it. He took that response and was just out there, and then he tamed it down at the end. I see what you did there, you gentlemen. You all right? Bringing it over. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last question of the final round. So, are we taking it to chat this time, PYT, or you got a question lined up for the boys?
Let's see. I think I'm going to ask my own question. So, let's see. All right. So my question is, do you like trying new things, or are you someone that likes to stick to familiar things?
We didn't hear that last part.
Do you like trying new things, or do you like to stick to familiar things?
Oh, that goes out to Slick. You're starting it off, Slick.
Oh, I'm spontaneous. I'm very into new things. Something repetitive to me is like I don't want you to go ahead and feel uncomfortable doing the same thing every day. Like I want you to go ahead and have a mindful thought where both of us can learn about each other on a daily basis. Like, and trust me, it takes forever to learn about somebody's soul, somebody's caring, somebody's love. And to me, love is a big thing. To me, compassion, being sincere. To me, it means the world to me. Loyalty is the most honorable thing that a man should have, like for themselves, dignity on top of that. But I think it's important for a woman to go in and see that within themselves with their man too. You know what I'm saying?
We
So
do
that's
know
my
what you're
answer.
saying. We appreciate that response. All right, moving over to Brandon. What question do you have lined up for him?
All right. So for Brandon,
You see the way she's matching her phone with her outfit? Not a lot of.
I know, right? That's so sexy.
Can y'all
Excuse
tell
me.
what my favorite color is? All right. So, Brandon, um, are you open to long distance relationships? Why or why not?
Realistically, not really. I just it's one of those things that I think that it's something that maybe you could do once you establish something with somebody because you have a rapport. You know what I mean? It's hard. I think a lot of the problem with the downfalls of the relationships like that is like it's not trust, it's faith. You don't know someone with the trust them, right? It's faith. It's not a trust situation. So when people start getting on their little weird ways of being like, oh, why did they respond or why didn't they do this, and it's just destructive stuff that's not even there. I think that's it's harmful. If you can't touch base and be face to face sometimes and have some level of person to person accountability, I think it creates some level of underlying issue that could be problematic for longevity.
Yeah, and you are in Michigan, correct, Brandon?
I am.
Yeah. Well, PYT, you are in the West Coast.
I'm in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Y'all closer than California, but still, I guess passengers from miles away. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna unmute our lovely contestant number three now. And what is the last question of the final round? And chat, who do you think has been rocking and rolling? We have the lovely Brandon, and he's been letting us know exactly and fitting it in with everything that he likes, he doesn't like. He's talked about being a father, and you had a contestant number three, Black Joker. He let us know about his musical career. He's an open book, literally. He took a page from the page master. He lays it all out there. And we do have Slick. Did Slick step up enough to get him that number one spot? We're listening, chat. All right. What question do you have lined up, PYT, for contest number three?
All right. So, what annoys you more than anything? Something that annoys you more than anything.
Lying, being fake, that annoys me. There's no reason to lie to me. I give everybody a second chance, but when you sit here and start lying to me, it just shows me you was never worth my respect or my tolerance from Jump Street. You could genuinely just tell me the truth. We can have a little bit of argument, fix what was broken, and move forward. Accountability is best thing on both parts, but you don't get accountability by lying.
Again, way to finish the first round and keeping it true to his true nature. And Black Joker, maybe add true to your name, the true Black Joker, or something like that, because that it just embodies you and everything that you've been on today's show for sure. And but like I said, this has been an incredible episode. And somebody said in the chat, the vibes are definitely on point tonight. If that, like the kids would say, on point. I don't know if I use that correctly, but give yourself a round of applause. Can we give a round of applause to the boys? They did it great, and big kudos to everybody stepping it up. Even some people last minute, and Slick just getting in there and showing that he really, really wanted to let the Bachelorette know what he has in store with his performance. All right, so PYT, we have to unfortunately pick only one. This is not the thruple episode, so we have to narrow things down just quite a bit. So again, you gotta eliminate two people. All right, so starting off with the first person you want to eliminate and why. Well, we got less than 10 minutes on the show, so let's try to speed it up just a bit. Who unfortunately is going to be the first person eliminated?
Okay. So, this is hard because I actually value this round. I saw a lot of more personality this round, but unfortunately, who I would like
Sound
to
better?
eliminate, I feel bad for because I didn't get to know them more than I got to know the other contestants. So I appreciate you, my good sir. Hasta luego, que tenga buena noche, all that good stuff. But contestant number three, I am
Otro
sorry.
día,
And let me
otro día.
translate, guys. She said, it was nice getting to know you, Slick. And my mom and pops also worked very hard in life, and they will. No, I'm just joking, guys. Thank you, Slick. I appreciate you tuning in. All right. And then number two. All right, so here's where things heat up just a little bit. Chat, who do you think she should pick? Because I know you guys have had y'all's hands on the trigger, and y'all's Twitter fingers have been working tonight for sure. So, and she's definitely watching the chat, so she has that eyesight of a top badge. She knows what's going on at all times. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into the winner for today's show. Can I get a drum roll, please? Who is going to be today's winner on Rate the Date? And give us a reason why.
If I were to choose, okay, first of all, both of y'all are amazing. Both of y'all are amazing. Both of y'all are amazing. Supreme, I definitely feel like you are a good time. The choking part made me cackle. But I definitely knew where you were coming from. You're hands on it. I've seen it before. I've had an ex that literally would drive and with his right hand would always be right here around my neck. And I like, it's not, it's, I understand you. Let's just put it that way. And then Brandon, I don't know. I've been to Michigan twice. The flight there from ATL ain't too expensive. The open mindedness would be lovely. So, if I were to choose out of these two, Brandon, you hurt my feelings with that. You could have lied and said, yeah.
You're not gonna get that from me. You can't.
I think because of that, I feel like that kind of sort of was just like, well, that's my cue. I'm out the door. So, Brandon, I appreciate you. You know you're lovely. You know you're amazing, and you can't wait for me, and I can't wait for you if that's the case. So I would have to let you go because of
I
that.
love, I love, I love, and she hit them with a doozy because I think some people thought Brandon was gonna win, but Brandon definitely
I
at that
thought
You
Brandon
don't
time,
was
want
going to
me.
win.
You don't
the
want to
stream didn't when he said that you were like, oh come on,
I thought
but
Brandon was going
we
to win.
appreciate him. We appreciate him keeping it honest. I think this was a very honest episode. But Brandon, thank you so much. Anything you want to plug before you go? I know you had a good time.
You know what? We're doing some other stuff on another thing, so I won't get into that. But we've been around. We're coming back to meet me and doing some stuff over here. PYT. I'm sorry I missed you over at Live Fest over here. So sorry, life was life, but you guys have been great, man. Other than that, I'm just happy to be here, man. Appreciate that. I actually,
Well,
hey, you know what? I filled in too. That's what's
yeah,
going
he
on.
did.
I
And
was
what
like,
what
I dreamt
what
one
he
or two.
meant by other thing is he's on OnlyFans. Make sure to I'm
Oh
just
no!
joking.
Stop it! No.
I am just joking. We just made it funny. All
Who
right.
told
So
you?
congratulations, Joker. I'm telling you, you kept it honest and you kept your pages always flowing because you are an
I
open
thought I
book.
was
And
I
it's
thought
and
I
it
was cutting myself out the book by being that honest.
huh?
I thought you like toxic because I done told you I done had suicidal attempts and everything. You like
No,
crazy.
I don't think that that's necessarily toxic. I just feel like you've been through a lot of different things in life, and sometimes experience is good. I wouldn't want somebody that hasn't been through anything because then they don't. Will they really understand me? Because I've been through some things. So
True.
Yeah, and I
Definitely true.
think somewhere down to the core of your heart, there's a bad boy needing to be tamed. You always, behind every strong man, as much experiences that he has been through, there's always a woman behind him rolling her eyes because she's the true brains behind the operations. Whether that was your mother, whether that was your girlfriend, whether that was your wife, there's always somebody back there. So, this is what I want to happen. All right, congratulations, Black Joker. Everybody, give it up for him in the chat. He is today's winner. All right, so what I want you guys to do is I'm gonna create a group chat. You guys are gonna get to know each other just a little bit, and you're gonna tune back in next Friday, closer to 12 p.m. Eastern time, and just let us know how things been. I'm sure Black Joker, you can make it over to her stream, see what that life is like if you haven't been there before. But I'm gonna create a group chat that's personal just for y'all. And all I ask is y'all have fun and tune back in next Friday and let the audience know how things have been going. Can we do that?
hmm
Well,
yes, of course.
of course,
All
got you.
all right, Black Joker, anything you want to promote before you leave?
Uh, y'all could find me on Dean Dingles, Freestyle Fridays, Rap Olympics, and I cut the beat Mondays. If I'm 67-pound champion for battle rapping. So
Hey.
uh, yeah, y'all can find me doing my thing. I'm the leader of a squad called the Villain Gang. Uh, we're a part of Damnation as well as MSL. So definitely tap in. All of my
Yeah.
artists are fire, and we just make good music.
All right, definitely, guys. Make sure to tune into him and hit
Last
him
thing,
up.
y'all. I have 60 seconds. I need 3 roses to finish this challenge. I need 3 roses. Ah, too late. Never mind.
Boom, boom, boom. And just like the winner he is making sure to send it your way. What about you, PYT? Anything you want to promote before you get out of here?
Too late, Pharaoh. So welcome, hello everyone. My name is Miss Pretty Young Thing, aka PYT, and I appreciate you, Dorian, for letting me be a part of my featured show. And I also have a featured show. I am part of a featured show community as well. My show is called PYT's ABCs, which takes place every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's like a play on categories. So if you've ever played like Wally World or something like that, it's very, very fun. So we just finished season one. Season two, we will be taking a break next week, and season two will be popping off the week after. So if you would like to be a part, or if you want more information, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, or you can check my YouTube and watch past episodes.
Well, that is incredible. All right, you guys get out of here. You guys have been having fun, and much love
Peace.
to both of y'all. Make sure, like I said,
Bye.
for the people that have been in the stream, make sure these people stream all the time. So make sure to hit them with a favorite. We're gonna get rocking and rolling, but before we do that, we got to get. We had Brit. Brit was a contestant, a bachelorette on our last episode, and she ended up picking. Or Diesel was our Bachelor, and he ended up picking Brit. So you guys want to know a little bit about them? Let me hear a one. Let me see. Write a one in the box if you want to hear that. Yes, one, one, one. Cool. Um, but let's get into some top gifters from our last episode before we just unravel everything at once. Big shout out to Amber. She made it as the number one gifter. I've been Amber the entire episode. And at the number two spot, we had Mystique. I think Soul Sister, remember Mystique and her British guy that she had over there? Sorry, I shouldn't be talking about that on my show. All right, number three spot, Mandikins. Big shout out to Mandikins. Number four spot, again, Brit. Brit is the person that was chosen. So I'll give y'all the juicy details real shortly. And at the number five spot, we had the lovely TJ, who's always somebody that's close to the stream. Big round of applause. And the top gifter from this episode. And who is this? Who is this over here? Is this one of this is the guy that was on the show is at the top spot. He's going to be featured on the official Instagram after the show. So big round of applause to them. All right. So Britt was chosen on our last episode. Britt wrote me right now and she said, unfortunately, he's a great guy. I love him. I love his vibrations, but we are just friends.